Hey everyone, very nice to meet
Hold on,
everyone.
Desmond. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you to this afternoon's last webinar of 2020, and in a lot of ways, we saved the best for last. So, just before we do get into today's program, let me just cover a couple of quick housekeeping items. As I mentioned, this is indeed the last webinar that we will have in 2020. We're certainly hopeful that we'll be able to have some in-person meetings again, that they'll be able to resume in 2021 at some point. But until that time, we will continue to bring you the kind of critical, helpful, and timely information that we've done thus far, and I know that we will be doing again today. As is always the case, all attendees are muted currently, but we do encourage questions. You can just click on the question button, write it out, it'll come to me, and at the end of the formal presentation, I will present the questions to Desmond, and he'll go through whatever we have to go through again to make sure that you understand all the materials presented. Also, we will be recording today's webinar, and that recording should be ready perhaps as early as the end of day today, but absolutely by the close of business tomorrow. So you can check the DDIFO website to make sure that it's up there, and that's at ddifo.org. So with that, I want to move into today's program and get it going. Emerging stronger from COVID with text recruiting. And it's my pleasure to introduce our presenter today. Desmond Lim is the co-founder and CEO of Workstream.us. Desmond is in fact himself a former restaurant operator, and he was the first in his family to go to college when he immigrated to the United States, and he did pretty well at school as well, as he went to MIT and Harvard. He's helped hundreds of franchisees from not only Dunkin, but Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, and a host of other franchises with recruiting, HR, advising them on technology, software, and the like. So it's my pleasure to turn the program over to Desmond Lim. Desmond, all yours.
Thank you so much, Ed. It is very nice to be here today. It is truly this honor of mine to be the final one to share on this topic today. So thank you so much, Ed, for actually giving me the chance to share more. So without further ado, perhaps what I should do is I'm going to go ahead to share my screen so that everyone can see it, and I will be quickly going through today. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Can people see my screen now or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, this is my first time trying to use this, so let me see what button I should be clicking on to share my screen. Stop sharing. Do you know which button should I be clicking on to kind of share my screen?
I believe it should be the second one up from the bottom.
Second up from the bottom. Okay. Okay. Does this work now? No, not really.
No, we still don't have it.
Okay. Do you think you could share the slides for me, because I can't find a button for sharing the slides. Okay, I think I see it now. Click to start screen sharing.
There you go.
Do you see my screen now?
Not yet.
There's a green button called click to start. Click to start screen sharing. Change presenter. The presenter is you now, Ed. Can you change it to me, please?
No, you are the presenter.
Interesting.
You are the presenter.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, everyone.
You have control.
Okay, no one can see my screen yet though. Show main screen.
Now you got it.
Okay.
We got a black screen, but that's yours. There you go.
Can people see it
Now
now?
we got it. Yes.
Perfect. Do everyone see the big blue slide with the title? Can you see it, Ed?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
We're good.
Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the delay. So let me just start by sharing about how Dunkin. So today's title, it is about how Dunkin franchisee can emerge stronger from this COVID with this tax hiring. So I'm very honored to really have the chance today to actually partner with this Dunkin and this actually DDIFO today to really share a bit about what I have learned in my over 10 years of being in this space, both in this restaurants, tech, hiring, and more. So just to share real quick, I'm actually one of the founders for this company. It is called Workstream. So it is a text-based hiring software. And today I'm very glad to be able to go through this 5 to 6 topics here. I will really start with a very quick overview. Secondly, I will be diving into what is the current hiring scene during COVID. Third, I will share a bit about how can you use texting to actually hire faster. Fourthly, I'll be going in to really talk a bit about how can we hire safely through this contactless hiring. Fifth, I'll be going through just a couple of quick case like studies so you all can learn more. Finally, I will share just 1 to 2 slides about our current software. Finally, I will lean into actually Q&A. So just to share a quick overview about me, as like Ed has like very kindly shared, I used to run my own own like restaurant for like over 10 years. So I have been in this space for over the past 10 years, and I really know the gaps and the pains. So very thankful to really have the chance today to like share more. So current hiring landscape during COVID. This is one of our current partners and current clients, Jaya. She runs about 15 stores for this like Dunkin. And in like our chat with her, she was sharing about how hiring has been hers and her team's very top challenge, because trying to find people who really wants to get back to work has been very tough. And she shares about how using texting has been a way that's been really helped her team, that is very safe and fast. So hiring and trying to keep talent has been a top goal for many Dunkin owners. This is one of the things that perhaps some of you have faced, which is like fewer driven people wanting to show up to work because they could actually collect unemployment benefits from this actually government. It has been harder to hire talent in a way that is, seamless and safe. And it really takes so much time to actually set up this interview with like people, because you are keep trying to go back and forth over email, over calling, trying to play like phone tag and more. And finally, people don't like show up. So for me, I have actually faced all of this over the past 10 years. And I must say that over the past 8 to 9 months during COVID, every one of this pointer here has been actually made worse. It has been really much more challenging. And that is what I really hope to share today about why tax recruiting is really one of the best way to find talent faster and also better. If you see the age of about 18 to 34, it is really the age where texting is the way that many of these folks want to engage. Texting, or rather SMS, has this open rate of actually more than 95%, as compared to email, it really only has about 20 to 25%. And if you talk about calling, it is even worse, because it is very hard for us today to really take phone calls, because there's just so many spam calls that both me and you get every single day. But if you look at the chart on the right, other than having a very high open rate, texting has a very quick time for people to get back in a space of about 1 to 1.5 minutes. So it's very quick because people today is always on their phone and they're always very quick to get back. I know that when I'm on my phone, I'm always very keen to get back faster. Whereas for this email, you can see it takes about 1.5 to almost 2 hours, because every day, I would say that for me, every day I get maybe about 200-300 emails, and I'm sure for every one of you Dunkin owners out there, you must get at least 300 to 400 emails given your this very busy schedule. So this is one of the 2 to 3 key pointers why texting has really been one of the best way to engage and to reach talent today, many of them who will be very keen to work at your stores. So diving in a bit more, why is it faster and also safer? So really, texting really cuts the time to screen, onboard, and to actually hire people. As you can see from here, through a series of texts and then through a series of this video, you will be able to engage with like people in a way that is very safe and very fast. You will be able to share content, questions, quizzes over texting, and that is just so much better, even more so during today's time, during COVID, right? It is a very good way to kind of safeguard you, your GMs, and your teams. For the first 1 to 2 rounds, it is always safer to actually text them and to be able to ask them some of these questions over texting and over this online forms. And through this, you will also be able to find better people who are much more engaged, savvy, and being able to use software and tools better. I think these folks will be a much better fit for your team. So what is contactless hiring? It is truly an end-to-end hiring flow that is fully virtual. Everywhere from sourcing, screening, scheduling to trying to onboard people, I would truly say that this is the best flow that you can think of that is very virtual, online, and through this texting. From sourcing, trying to post onto all the major job boards like Indeed, Craigslist, Glassdoor, even having something called text to apply poster, which I'll be very glad to show to you all soon. Secondly, for this screening, you will be able to actually upload quizzes, questions through forms, which will be very helpful for you to actually screen out people through the phone and through this texting. Thirdly, for this actually scheduling, you will be able to actually get people to self-schedule timings to come in to meet with you through trying to use various tools that you all can use, and people can also self choose interview slots, and then you can meet with them via phone calls, Zoom, and more. Finally, for this onboarding, you can even manage W4, I9, 8850, any kind of like online forms that you have, or any kind of training videos and guides. You can actually do that online too. So a quick tip that we have over here, if you actually want to get back to people and if you want to hire them fast, being able to get back to them quickly, it is very key. Because if you perhaps spend like a few $100 to post on this Indeed, but if you only get back about two to 3 days after, it is a very big waste of this money because trying to hire fast, it is a very key way, and texting is really one of the best way to be doing that. This is a text to apply demo that you can see over here. So you can easily, I mean, if you have your phone today, please actually take out your phone, open up your this camera. If you can scan this QR code that you'll see in a screen over here, if you do that, you should be able to go into a link where you can apply for a job from your phone. So I will urge everyone who is on the call today, please open up your this camera and your phone and scan this QR code that is on the second half of the page here. If you open up your this your this camera and point it to this square over here, you should get a link that will jump out. And if you click on the link, you should be able to apply for a job right from your phone. So this is something that we actually do for many of our current partners and like clients. We actually print out this poster, put it at their store as this poster. So anyone who comes into the store, they can easily text to apply from their phone. We can even give out this as very small name cards that people can take and go. Tip number 2, what we have learned is that if you can actually maximize screening, that is a very good way to actually save time, because what we all know is that what we want, it is actually quality. We want people who really wants the job, who will show up, who can stay on for at least 1 to 2 years. So through what you can do over here is being able to actually quickly screen through people, and all of that can be done through texting too. You can actually ask a series of questions through texting, and really all of that can be very helpful. One of the tips that you can do is you can even get people to actually upload videos. So you can get people trying for a job to really upload 1 to 2 minute videos of them talking. So through that, you will be able to learn whether or not they are a fit or not. So here's a few quick case studies that I have here to share. This is the one for Dunkin. You can see that one of our current partners today, Jaya, he has about 15 stores, and he has been with us now for the past 1 to 2 years. And this is one of our other client, Senior Buns, and this actually Auntie Anne's. You can see how they have sent more than 28,000 tags and being able to source more than 17,000 like applicants last year. And for every single store, they really have been able to save more than 10 over hours. And this is across 48 stores. One more case studies I have here to share is with Jamba. So today with Jamba, we actually partner with more than 200 over stores, helping them to use texting to be able to source for people faster and like better. And we really have been able to, through texting, help them to source for more than 150,000 applicants. That is more than like that is more than 3x what they have like sourced for in the past. So really through texting, it has really been a much faster way to source for people and to be able to actually hire them and to save time for every one of your current GMs. As you can see here from Tara, she owns about 65 stores across Carl's Jr., Jamba, and more. She talks about how hiring has been really one of her top challenge and how she really has been able to use texting to really save time to actually set up meetings and to actually hire them. So I'm going to share a few quick slides here about this work stream. It will be very quick. And then if y'all have any questions, y'all can feel free to actually ask me towards the end. But what you see here, it is this all-in-one applicant dashboard. Through our software, we will actually help you to post into hundreds of these job boards, Indeed, Craigslist, Glassdoor, and more. And then everything will flow into this one single dashboard that is going to be very seamless. And as I shared, we today partner with more than 2,500 job boards from Glassdoor, Google, Facebook, Indeed, and more. And we use AI to actually help you to run the math and science to learn about what job board should you post at. Should you post on Fridays at 2 o'clock, Tuesdays at 3? Should you post on Craigslist? Should you post on Glassdoor? So all of that is what we use AI to really help you to really be able to hire faster. So that is what we all can do from here. Our current product is really built for higher volume hiring, as you can see over here, through this two-way texting and our software. We also use, you will also have the chance to actually upload videos through our software. as you can see, everything is all built on a phone. You can even send out offer letters through our software, even try to embed slides. So all of those can be very helpful through the tools that we all have to offer. Finally, I just love to share over on this slide, you will be able to see a very good overview across every single stage, across every single role, even across every single state. So it is very easy for you to see a quick overview about where are folks coming from. Are they coming from Indeed, Craigslist, Glassdoor, and more. We have raised about $12.5 million in funding from folks such as CEO for Zoom, CEO for Yelp, Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, Jay-Z, James Harden, Joe Montana, and more. So we are very humbled to actually get the trust of these folks to be able to grow. And this is a quick overview of some of the clients who will really believe in what we are doing and what we have to offer. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll be very glad to share these slides afterwards with the whole team here too. So this is a link that we have built for the group here. Please feel free to go to workstream.us/DDIFO. So please feel free to go to workstream.us/DDIFO. So we have built this landing page. So if actually any of you wants to try out this product, we'll be very glad to offer you this actually special pricing due to our current partnership with the team here. So please feel free to go to this site, workstream.us/DDIFO. Yeah, so with that, I think that was all that I had. Very glad to see any questions. Sorry about that. Yeah, so very glad for Ed to maybe perhaps we can actually open up the floor for this Q&A to see if there's any questions. But other than that, please feel free to actually email me, Desmond@workstream.is. Feel free to actually email me. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Desmond. And yeah, we do have a couple of questions. Let me grab one that I think you just answered first. Is there special pricing for Dunkin franchisees who sign up for your service? And I think you did just advise people to go to workstream.us/DDIFO for special pricing. But let me turn it over to you. That's the question. Is there special pricing for Dunkin franchisees?
Yes, yes, and yes. Thank you so much, Ed. So sharing this slide over here. So please feel free to go to this site over here, workstream.us/DDIFO. So yes, we all have been very glad to actually partner with this Ed and Joan from this actually DDIFO. So we are very glad to be able to offer this actually special pricing for you all to try it out, because we know that during this time it is very tough during COVID. And I think one of the strengths that we have is that we all have current templates with really some of our very best Dunkin owners who have actually used us for the past 2 years and more, and they really have been able to use texting to hire faster. So we would love to partner with you all and really to really share with you all some of these job templates and some of this hiring practices on how we can help you to hire faster. So please feel free to actually email me at this Desmond@workstream.is, or feel free to come to this link over here.
And if I could just pick up on that, Desmond, because I think for some of us, Workstream.is is kind of a foreign concept. At least it was for me. And as I mentioned to you, I had your email a little bit wrong there at the beginning. So I would underscore to everybody again that the email is Desmond@workstream.is, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So also we have a couple of other questions, Desmond. One deals with the Dunkin franchisees that you're working with, and it is as follows. Apart from 7 brands, are you working with any other Dunkin franchisees today?
Yeah, we are. We really have been working with this Dunkin franchisee. We do work with a few in this actually Boston, East Coast, and more. So we have been really lucky to actually partner with them over the past 2 to 3 years. We have seen there is a very interesting like difference for many of this Dunkin who is both in a city and for those who are in this suburbs. And we have been very thankful to be able to partner with both of them. Even more during COVID, what I've heard from really some of our current Dunkin owners, it is that in this suburbs, things have been going actually fairly well because people are still very open to actually come out to buy food or to do drive-throughs. Whereas in this actually cities, it has been a bit challenging because people are mostly staying home. They are not showing up for work in this city. So we really have been able to partner with many of these Dunkin owners to be able to help them allocate their current hiring needs more towards this suburbs. So it has been really great to partner with many of these Dunkin owners over the past 2 to 3 years and more. Yeah, thank you, Ed.
Okay. All right, thank you, Desmond. So here's a question now. With Workstream, do I need to be constantly on my computer in order to respond to applicants?
Yeah, so yes and no. So the quick answer is no. We do have this mobile app. We all do have an app that we all have built an app for every GM, for every owner to be able to use the app from your phone. So that is the very good thing that you can actually use Workstream on the go from your phone, from an app, anytime that you want. So that is the very first point. Second point that I have to share is through our current workflow, we have a lot of this automation built in that will be able to help you to save time. So with many of these automated steps, we will be helping you to ask questions, set up videos, even trying to schedule meetings. That is how we save you and your GM tens of hours every single week. Because rather than having to call people every single day to really get them to show up, through our software, we will actually help you to schedule meetings. We'll really help you to ask questions, set up quizzes, even set up video call, all through texting. So point 2 is that through our software, we would actually help you to take time away from your screen so that you can go back to your business and your ops and to be able to grow even much faster. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Desmond. One final question that we have here submitted, and it reads, I've often heard that Indeed, Facebook, and ZipRecruiter were your top 3 job boards. Which job boards do you personally recommend that I, as a Dunkin franchisee, use to get the best return on my investment?
Yeah, so what we have learned is that every city, every job, every brand, it is actually fairly different, right? I don't think there's one single or 2 or 3 top best job boards that you would actually have to use, which is why I feel like through our software, there is actually 3 main ways that we would actually help you to hire people and source for them. The first way is through our software, we use AI to really help you to post onto 200 to 300 job boards so that we can help you to save money and to save time. And we can also help you to open up to many more new channels. Think about Google Jobs, Craigslist, Facebook Jobs, and more. So through all this channel, we can really help you to open up to many more channels. Sorry. Sorry about that. And then secondly, we also have this text to apply poster, which is very powerful. So through this text to apply poster, you can put up these posters at your store, and people can actually come into your store and text to apply from your phone. So all of that will be very helpful. Thirdly, through our software, we also have this referral software that is very powerful, which you can share this referral link to actually many of your current teammates. So what I would say is that I feel like every Dunkin owner here, you should not use just one or two job boards or one or two sources. You should always be trying to broaden your sources of these people. Try to post to more channels. Use this text to apply and use texting, because I feel that if you're able to actually go to more sources, it is actually going to save you money and time and be able to source for people faster.
Great. Thank you, Desmond. That's the last question that's been submitted, but before I let everyone go, let me again just underscore, we're looking at your screen right now, and the website for Workstream, I want to clarify this for everybody, is workstream.us / DDIFO, whereas your email is desmond@workstream.is. So I just want to make sure that I underscore that for the benefit of our attendees. If they're reaching out to you directly, Desmond, via email, it's desmond@workstream.is, whereas the website is workstream.us / DDIFO. And so with that, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I also want to underscore that we are indeed working on our webinar schedule for 2021, and with our fingers crossed, of course, that we'll also have our in-person meeting scheduled for 2021 as well. So with that, let me wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Let me wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year, and stay healthy and stay well, and we'll see you after the new year. Thank you again, and have a great week and a great holiday. Bye now.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.